So tonight we're going to talk about this little gem right here. Stay tuned. And we're live, coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere in Northeast Ohio. I'm O'Malley from O'Malley's Adventure, and this is the Fallout Shelter. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. We're actually getting things on the show on time, so that's always a plus. And tonight we're going to geek out a little bit about this little gem right here, the Galaxy S7, and whether or not you should actually upgrade. I've had the phone now for about a year, and it's been absolutely perfect as far as function goes. No problems. It is waterproof. As a matter of fact, that's the only footage that I don't have for you tonight. Yes, I actually ran a sink full of water, stuck the phone in the water, and took a picture of myself. It seems a little counterintuitive to stick your phone in water when most people try to keep them dry. But that being said, the camera and the phone itself will work underwater. I believe it's waterproof to something to the effect of 6 to 10 feet. I don't know. I just stuck mine under the water, took a picture of myself. The phone never locked up or quit. I didn't have to put it in rice or any of the goofy stuff. So that being said, let's. I took a set of video clips. I didn't go as low as VGA in the settings. I went from 1:1 up to the highest setting on the front and rear facing camera. So let's start with the selfie camera, basically. With the excuse me, one thing you will notice is I didn't use any mic or even the built-in mic with the headphones for the sound. So on the front camera, the sound comes through very well. When it's facing away, it's not quite as good. It's okay, but for something like these or something like this, the phone itself comes with a really decent set of earbuds, and lav mics are about 20 bucks. Basically, this review is coming from the standpoint of somebody up until the S7, and I've never had any problem with the phone crashing or having to restart or anything like that. So we live in a really good age as far as the technology goes. So with that being said, I'm going to go through the front camera first, the selfie camera. So this is the front-facing camera in 1:1 mode. It's 1440 by 1440. And this is the front-facing camera in full HD. It's 1920 by 1080. And this is QHD. This is 2560 by 1440 or 2K. So as you can see, the day and age of having super grainy footage from the selfie cameras pretty much a thing of the past. If you're even with the limited time I've had on the S6 or even the S5, the ability to vlog or shoot video to where you can see what you're doing with it. It's clear. This is list the quality HD. The highest setting for the selfie camera is basically 2K. So the quality is there. Throw in a mic, a lav mic, or the headphones. Like I said, the need for a vlogging specific camera there's almost like so it's kind of gone away, coming back, because as the cameras get better in the phones, I mean, going out and spending $400-500 on a vlogging camera, there's diminished returns. You're not getting anything better, basically. So I wanted to show you the rear camera. The rear camera is interesting because at 1080p, and you'll see, you can do 60 frames per second. And if you're into any type of video editing, you take it into your software. If you slow it just to half, you still get 30 frames a second at half the speed. There is a setting for 720p. If you look at my Instagram or some of my earlier posts, you can do 720p at 240 frames a second, which is really cool for shooting slow-mo or time-lapse. I don't have any of that footage for this video, but you can check it out. I mean, it's pretty amazing. This is just your plain Jane settings from 1:1 on up to 4K. So here it is. So this is the rear camera in 1:1, which is 1440 by 1440. And this is the rear camera in full HD, which is 1920 by 1080p. This is the rear-facing camera in full HD, but it's at 60 frames per second. So it tends to be fairly clear when it comes to things that are moving. And here we are at QHD, which is 2K, 2560 by 1440. And last but not least, this is Ultra HD. This is actual 4K video at 30 frames per second. And there that is. With the rear camera, as you started to turn up the resolution, some of the saturation kind of got a little weird. It almost looked like I had a little bit more red in me. I haven't noticed that anywhere except for underneath the whiter studio lights. I don't know if that has something to do with the software in the phone, but the contrast or I believe it's called saturation. That's the part that kind of got weird. But other than that, I didn't notice anything that was horribly out of place or horribly wrong with the video. It takes actually very good video in a tripod. The only place that I noticed, if you look at the footage from Philadelphia as I'm walking, if you have it turned up to 4K, there isn't any image stabilization, and the footage gets almost like jello-y. But again, we're talking about a cell phone. We're not talking about a $600 or $700 DSLR. So that being said, some of the still pictures that I've taken with it, and I'm not a photographer by any means, the footage that you can actually shoot just on the auto settings is pretty amazing. You You can turn on HDR, which is high dynamic range. So even if you're shooting into a bright light, it'll start to compensate for it. It's not perfect, but here's some of the pictures that I've taken. This was just the other day. The light was off to the left a little bit, but it didn't wash out any of the colors. The blues stayed blue, the whites stayed bright, and you didn't get any type of weird glare or sunspots or whatever they call that, where it comes into the picture itself. This was daytime, kind of overcast but still sunny. Excuse me. You can see it's fairly clear as far as all the colors go. When you're back away from things, you can see it's sort of curved out towards the edges. Nothing too bad or super GoPro looking, but you can notice it. And then in low light, or as the sun goes down, as you can see, you can keep a lot of definition without glare. And like I said, this is all set on auto. I didn't. None of these pictures that I'm showing you were taken in the manual settings. And then the last one, even in low light, some of it's grainy, but as you can see, it will still function and function fairly well in low light. And like I said, it's not a $600 DSLR, but it is incredibly nice for just a cell phone. And if you're just now getting into any type of content creation, I wouldn't just jump out there unless you got disposable money and fork out a lot of money for a camera, especially if you're in like a S6 or higher. The cameras are decent. I mean, this camera takes better pictures than what I'm capable of shooting right now. Obviously, as time goes on and you do it more, you'll get better at it, and then there does come a time when you have to upgrade. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was whether or not it's worth upgrading to the S8, which I've looked at quite a bit. And let's see, I've got the specs. Here we go. Both of dimension-wise, there's almost no difference as far as materials. They're both water, dust resistant. Where it starts to get a little bit of difference is obviously in the cameras. The rear-facing camera is 12 megapixels, which for a phone is more than adequate. It takes great pictures. The front-facing camera, though, let's see if I scroll down. It's 5 megapixels on the S7. It's 8 megapixels on the S8. But that being said, with the 5 megapixels, it takes decent 2K footage. So is there going to be that drastic of a difference going to the 8 megapixels? That's on you. Would I personally just for that? No. I don't actually use that camera that much, and the little bit that I have used at the 5 megapixels for me is more than enough. Not to bore you with like hardware, the S7's a quad core, the S8's octa-core. Um, both have 4 gig of RAM. Uh, the built-in storage on the S8 goes from 32 to 64. And one thing that the Galaxy series still has, other than the S6, is expandable storage. Thank you, Samsung, for not getting rid of that. Does the onboard storage work faster? Yes, but with the newer SD cards, you're not losing much. And if you do a lot of video and a lot of pictures, you need a lot of storage. It's not hard to fill up a 32 gig or even a 64 gig phone. 3 or 4 days of being out of town, you can do it real quick. Let's see. One last thing I wanted to touch on, and this is like somewhat of personal preference, and I'm sort of a minority in this sector, is that little gem right there, that headphone jack. Now the S8 does have a headphone jack, but from what I'm hearing and reading, those could soon be gone. And the reason that I say I like it is because of something that I just reviewed, that this battery pack or any type of charging, wall charging, whatnot, if you're using the phone, you can still use mics and charge at the same time. I don't have one for the show, but there is a Rode mini mic, shotgun mic that you can put on these that works absolutely fabulous. So they're getting into where they just want the I believe it's, what do they call that, USB-C port only, where that's what they're using the headphones with and the mics, I believe. Me personally, I would rather have the 2 jacks versus 1. That's fantasy land to think that that's going to stay, but it's looking like the S8 will be the last in the Galaxy series to keep that jack. So if that's something that you have a preference to, like myself, then keep your eye on the S7s and S8s in the used bin, because you'll probably want them. So final thoughts: if you have one of these, any type of, you know, phone holder, selfie stick, whatever you want to call it, and you can get these for about 10 bucks. You can get the mics, the lav mics, for, I don't know, less than 20. You have everything that you need to start making footage. Take pictures, take all that footage, dump it into OBS like I did, and you can go live with it, or you can just edit it, throw it together, and publish it, upload it to YouTube, your website, wherever. I wouldn't just jump out there and start forking out money for cameras. Not when the cell phones have come that far. If you're just starting off, your money's probably better served elsewhere. So that's my take on the Galaxy S7. And now the $1 million question is, would I upgrade to the S8? And the answer is maybe. I'll let you know after I see the 9. For now, I'm staying with this. Would I recommend this? Highly. I'm the biggest, not so much as far as operating system goes, But as the phone itself goes, one of the deal breaker for me with the other company is expandable storage. Um, I like being able to keep a lot of stuff on my phone at my fingertips. I don't want to use the cloud. I don't want to. I want to have it with me. Um, I keep all of that. I take one of these babies, and this might sound old-fashioned. I hook it up to my computer, and that's how I handle all my content. Um, I would say that the clouds are handy for like contact information, stuff like that. But as far as your actual videos and pictures and whatnot, uh, keep it on your phone. And then, I don't know, every week or so, I don't know if you can see it, I've got that little hard drive reader. Hook that up to my computer, hook the phone up to the computer, switch everything across, and I have everything that I need here. And for now, until I find a reason not to, that's the way that the whole data and information thing is going to flow here. Um, but let me know what you think in the comments. Um, been doing the Anchor FM. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, check it out. Uh, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all the usual places. Um, I've been dabbling with the affiliate marketing thing. So if you see links, don't forget to support the channel, because none of this is free. Uh, so uh, that's where I'm moving to, going into the winter months. And don't forget to shop tomorrow. Get your deals and whatnot. And matter of fact, tomorrow that's what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about the move from retail to retail on your computer. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. You can't go wrong with the S7 or the S8, but maybe soon, maybe I'll go to the S8. Time will tell. So until tomorrow and the next time, stay sharp, keep a tight shot group, rock on.